My name is Thomas Allen, and I am the Division Manager of the Office 365 Advisory arm of Cyberstreams. Cyberstreams has implemented hundreds of Office 365 environments for end users, and I'm here today because one of the common questions that we get is the question of, is my information going to be secure when it's in the cloud? You know, what is going on out there in this environment that I can't physically see and touch? So let's take a moment and let's talk about some of these components of security that Microsoft has implemented in their, what I think you will agree with me is a very robust security defense network for your cloud computing services. So first off, from a raw physical security standpoint, when an employee visits a Microsoft data center, they need a badge to get in, and then they are retinal scanned, they're checked with a security list, and then they're handprint scanned. So we're talking about some almost James Bond style security to physically get into the data center itself. So you can be pretty confident, or as confident as you can be with any security for any network you use, that the right people are going to get in. So we just talked a little bit about physical security as it pertains to accessing Microsoft data centers. The next major point of transition is compliance issues. And so there's a couple of numbers up on the board which you may or may not recognize. They pertain to international standard organizations in terms of how they require that if you're going to be recognized as a secure data center environment, this is how they require you to do it. And you have to actually pass a series of tests. And Microsoft has done that across not just one major international test, they've done it across a lot of international tests. They've jumped all the major hurdles as far as having a very, very secure, robust environment. ISO 27001 is the most common one that you see outside of the US. It's an International Standards Organization compliance issue. It mostly pertains to the way that access to a data center is handled, the way that data centers are managed, and how the information is stored and used. There's also two other standards which are fairly recent changes, SSAE 16 and 3402. These were previously known under the title of SAS 70 Type 2. These are more domestically used standards, and they pertain to financial institutions and banks and how they have to keep their data, and Microsoft meets all those standards. So we're keeping, you know, they meet the standards that you would need to keep medical data, financial data, government data, so they're doing a pretty dang good job with whatever you might be storing for your business. The next major question that most business owners will ask is, so, okay, great, so the data center itself is very, very, very secure. What about the applications and the way information moves around on the internet? Is there a problem with that? Microsoft has a very, very, very robust security solution called Forefront. And not only are they applying Forefront to Office 365, but they're applying multiple custom developed versions of Forefront for Office 365. So essentially what this means is that they've already got a great security platform, and they said, that's not good enough for Office 365. We want to customize it to fit this nook, and we want to customize it to fit this cranny, and we want to make sure that everything and all the different applications and all the different ways that they used, we're addressing every security component of all those applications. So there is literally a Forefront for Exchange. There is literally a Forefront for SharePoint, a Forefront for Lync. For all the different Office 365 products, there is a specific Forefront application addressing them. The next major point is, how is my information moving around? When we're transmitting emails, when we're sending data across the internet, what type of encryption settings is it using? 128-bit AES is the US military grade standard that was adopted and is now accepted worldwide by most major institutions. That is the same standard that Office 365 is using. And to give you an example of the way that it would take to break the actual raw encryption on data transfer, currently it's estimated that it would take over a century using what our current computing technology is. So you can be pretty sure that, you know, while no security is perfect in terms of, you know, when we're interacting with applications and data, while it's being sent from point A to point B, no one's going to like grab it en route and do something with it. So, I mean, you're talking about an incredibly robust data security on that. The third major thing that is addressed is, where's my data being stored with Office 365? And by default, Office 365 stores your data geo-redundantly. So what that basically means is that they're going to store a copy of your data in North America, a copy of your data in Europe, and a copy of your data in Asia. And all these data centers are compliant to all the standards that I talked about before. So we're not talking about in some hut in the Philippines or something. We're talking about a robust manned facility with concrete walls and cameras around it. That being said, they've determined that for most clients, that's the best thing to do. That way, if there's a typhoon in Asia and a tsunami in America, you still have your data in Europe, and that might seem a little intense and over the top, but hey, we're trying to build a world-class product here. However, for some institutions, it's important that your data not leave the US. And so one thing I'll point out to those types of institutions is that you can actually request that your data be resided in a specific data center location with Office 365. And they will sign an agreement with you saying that they'll do that. So whether you want your information to be redundantly stored across the world or you want it to be securely staying in the US, you're going to get that with Office 365. So if you have questions about this video, the contents that were in it, some of these different compliance and security standards, or you just want to know more about Office 365 for your business, feel free to give me a call. Once again, my name is Thomas. You can reach me at 425-274-1121. And if you'd prefer to use email, that's also fine. I'm thomasa@cyberstreams.com. I'd love to hear from you. Have a good day.